your parents sent you to like a religious school. What was the background on that? Was it just the closest school, or was it something they were passionate about?
Well, no. So I went to Geelong Grammar School in Victoria, and I lived in Hobart, Tasmania.
Okay.
So I had four sisters. My dad ran a pub. He owned hotels there, and his excuse was, growing up around all these girls, I want you to go out and be, strong or independent or whatever the case may be. So you're off to boarding school.
What age was that?
11.
Okay.
So that came with its own set of challenges, because what I didn't realise till later in life is that a spirit of rejection had gone into me, where I was part of this loving family, and all of a sudden I'm being transported 600 kilometres away, or 600 miles, 1,000 kilometres away to another state. At the age of 11, and it wasn't until later in life that spirit of rejection sort of came out in me, and then had to be dealt with later on in life.
Yeah. Okay. And then the like kind of religious side of things. So I've spoken to people from boarding school before, and like say Catholic, even just Catholic schools and stuff like that. They said it's not woven in to the day to day. Like they don't pray at the start of the class. It's just go to these classes, kind of something on the side. Was it like that?
Okay, well, this was a Church of England grammar school, and it was founded with those Christian values. So before every meal, and it was in a group environment, there'd always be grace. And it was normally in English, but occasionally we'd have some of these masters that would speak it in Latin,
Okay.
back in the day. But God in his infinite kindness sent me to a school that was co-educational. So it was a co-ed boarding school.
Okay.
Now, so it had Christian values, but in the chapel, which was a big church that was there, as I said, we'd meet on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and there was always Sunday, the Sunday service. And that could be in the morning or the afternoon or both. But the problem was, in this big cold building full of stained glass windows and pews and singing hymns and all that sort of stuff, even though the word was spoken, there was never I never felt a personal connection to a living God. To me, it just all seemed, I was never taught how to pray, but it all just seemed like there was some, I don't know, it was almost like we were talking to someone who used to be, not someone who is.
Yeah.
And so it was cold and sterile, and it really meant nothing to me. And to be honest with you, I didn't want a part of it.
Yeah. So did you think like this is just performative? Like, oh, we just have to do this.
Definitely.
Did you see people that you were like teachers or the pastor, or I don't know what they're called in
They call them a minister, yeah.
minister?
Yeah.
Were you like, oh no, they're serious? Like they really believe this, or you just thought this is just?
No, look, there were a couple of, there was older ministers, and then they had a young, or a couple of young ones that came through who were surfers, and, they seemed to be, be able to relate to us, but they never spoke to us in a way that was relational of a living God today.
Okay.
It always seemed to me historic. Now, I might have missed something, I'm a bit of a slow learner, but I might have missed something in this whole story that, I might have been asleep that day when something was revealed. Mm-hmm. But to me, it wasn't a now thing. So, that's why I've been so shocked in my life when I realize Jesus is actually alive. Not only did he die, but he rose again. He ascended into heaven alive as a man. Today, he's still there, alive as a man, and that's how he's coming back. I missed all that.